I know, it definitely will. And Alan, I want to move on because this is a subject you're going to be covering for World in Sport, I believe, the Euros, and obviously the Scotland team was announced. I wasn't really that bothered about it until I seen the name Patterson. Young Nathan Patterson selected for Scotland, which, look, he's only played 6 or 7 games, but it's fantastic for him in his career, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant for him. He'll be absolutely buzzing. I'm delighted for him, and I hope that there's 2 friendlies before then. I hope that he can prove himself in the friendlies and get ahead of O'Donnell, the other right back, because he's miles better than. I know he's not played a lot of football compared to O'Donnell, and he'll be judged in that. But he's miles ahead, and if he can get a couple of games for Scotland at the Euros, that'll do wonders for his confidence. And it can only do good for us, him playing at the Euros as well. So I'm absolutely delighted for him. To be fair to Steve Clarke, I hate saying that, but to be fair to him, it was a decent squad. It was the best squad they probably could have picked. Nathan Patterson, Billy Gilmour, left Lee Griffiths at him. For me,
I know, aye.
It might have been easy to pick Griffiths because Scotland's strikers, they struggle for goal scorers, but he's left him at him. So for me, I was quite happy with the squad when I seen it, to be honest. Not that I'm a massive Scotland fan either, a massive Scotland follower, but I've taken interest in the last maybe the last year or so, and I'm pleased to see Patterson getting into the team and picking a sensible squad instead of just picking the old pals.
That was my big worry for Patterson. And by the way, you can't pick Griffiths. The guy's heavier than me. He's barely kicked a ball a season. You know, I don't understand how any professional footballer can go a full season and not be fit when they're not injured. I don't understand. Oh, and of course McLaughlin as well. CGM, thank you for pointing that out. John McLaughlin is by far the best goalkeeper Scotland has, but unfortunately he won't play. We all know that. Well, young Patterson for Scotland, fantastic news.
Yeah, delighted for him. I didn't think he'd get picked, and to be honest, if it was still a 23-man team, he wouldn't be. A 23-man squad, he wouldn't be going. I don't think any of the 3 young guys that were picked would have gone if it was still a 23-man squad. But Steve Clarke's come out and said that when they go to their training camp in Spain or whatever it is, that it's a clean slate and everybody's got the equal chance of playing. I still can't see them playing, to be honest. But I mean, Patterson's the best right back he's got in that squad by a country mile. I mean, talking about the squad as a whole, I mean, I pay probably less interest in international football than anybody else on here. But everybody's bigging up the squad that Steve Clarke's picked. From what I've seen of it, it seems to be okay. But it puzzles me why he's got 3 goalkeepers over the age of 30. Because you would think he'd try and bring a young goalkeeper in to get some experience. Who that would be, whether it would be Robbie McCrory or who it would be, I don't know.
Xander Clark.
You know, I don't know why he's got 3 aging goalkeepers.
Liam Kelly for me had a good second half of the season on loan at Motherwell, and I think he picked up their Player of the Year. For me, that would be good succession planning with regard to have 2 keepers, whether it's McLaughlin and Marshall or McLaughlin and Gordon, with the 3rd keeper being Liam Kelly or somebody of that ilk. You know, I mean, it's like taking Greg Taylor. You know, take Josh Doig, and you know, because Robertson's not going to get injured. Tierney probably will, right enough, and that's probably why Greg Taylor's in the squad.
You gave a wee.
Dundee just scored, so they're beating Kilmarnock 2-0 there.
And they've been beating Kilmarnock 2-0 for the last 20 minutes.
Sorry, I'm actually concentrating on this.
I just got a text to tell me that.
He's very, very seriously. SDM, therefore play Patterson in front of O'Donnell. Now, that's the big question, Alan. Steve Clarke is... I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. Steve Clarke will play Stephen O'Donnell before Patterson. Now, look, experience, maybe you could say fair enough. But from actual physical being able to play the game, nobody's going to convince me that Stephen O'Donnell should play before Patterson.
No, I'm the same. You know, Clarke said about the clean slate. You've just mentioned about experience. Not one of the players have got experience at this level. Handful of them have played in Europe. Patterson's one of them. So for me, Patterson's got a wee bit of an edge on O'Donnell there right away. But I think Clark will stick with O'Donnell because I think he'll stick with the guys that got him there, even though they got there through the back door. He'll stick with the guys that got him there. And you know, the guys are right. Your Gilmores, your Turnbulls, your Pattersons, they probably won't play that much. But to be in the team, get a chance in a friendly match, somebody gets injured, suddenly you're thrown into the limelight. And I mean, if somebody like Patterson was to go down to Wembley and have a great game, I mean, it can only be good for us, him coming back for the Euros, whether he plays or no, because just being in and around that environment will be fantastic for him. So, but I'm the same as everybody else. For me, Patterson, miles better than O'Donnell. Should be on the team sheet.
Also, Billy Gilmour. I know he's no longer a Rangers player, but Rangers have played a massive part in his development. Yep. You know, and I think there's been a lot of. I've seen a lot of pictures in the last couple of days of Patterson and Billy Gilmour through the ages playing for the national team. So credit to all the coaches that have helped the two of them to get to this, because I'm sure Rangers have played a massive part, and I'm sure Billy Gilmour and his family would recognise that. So it's great to. Maybe it's just me. I think Scotland are going to the Euros. I'm not going to be sitting with my St Andrew's cross draped around my neck and my face painted when I'm watching the games. But I think I would be playing I'd be playing Billy Gilmour in the centre of the midfield alongside. It'll probably be McTominay. I think he's a guy that wants to be on the ball. I think he's got an awful lot of qualities of a young Barry Ferguson. In my opinion, he's not scared of the ball and that sort of thing. And I think Patterson's exactly the same. Patterson is not scared of the ball. He'll take the ball in any situation. So Scotland are going to go here. They've got nothing to lose. Why be cautious?
Because it's Steve Clark.
You know, it's a Rangers podcast, but I'm delighted for the two boys in our current squad and for Billy Gilmour. And I think Alan said, I looked at the squad and I thought there's not really much I would disagree with that, to be honest with you. My thought was that he would shoehorn Griffiths in, thinking it's still the 2016-2017 Lee Griffiths that's scoring goals against Rob Kiernan and Russell Martin and guys like that, you know. So I think that was the last time he managed to stay at the kebab shop.
I've got a call. The CGM, John McGinn's class of last night always makes me chuckle. That always makes me chuckle as well, by the way. Well, will there be more interest now from Rangers supporters who maybe have fell out of love with Scotland, so to speak? Not all Rangers supporters. Look, there's quite a lot who still love watching Scotland and support Scotland. I was until very, very recently, and I can't explain it. It just faded away. But will there be a few more now taking more of an interest in the Euros now that Patterson's in the squad?
Yeah, I think there possibly will be. Not just in the Scotland games. I mean, they'll be interested in the games that Glenn Kamara's playing in, the games that Borna Barisic is playing in, the games that any Rangers player's playing in. I mean, I'm not disinterested in Scotland. I just don't have any time for international football as a whole. It just doesn't excite me at all. But I mean, I'll be looking out to see how our players do. If there is any games I'll watch, and I won't go out my way to watch any, it will be the ones involving our players, just to see how they get on. Because I mean, it can only be good for Rangers. I mean, even the like Cammy says, you know, you got Billy Gilmour in the Scotland squad. If he was in the team and Nathan Patterson wasn't, it's still good for the Rangers academy, because they'll say, you know, everybody will know where he came from. That's got to be good going forward, because they can see, not only can they see a pathway to bigger clubs or bigger leagues, rather. There isn't a bigger club, bigger leagues, or into the Rangers first team. They can also see that pathway takes you from the Rangers training centre into the international stage, which has got to be good for us going forward. It really, really has. So I think there will be a bit more interest from the Rangers fans, but there won't be. I can't really see many of them getting behind Scotland, to be perfectly honest.
No, and can I just say to people in the comments, and Andrew, mate, you should know much better. Well said, Cammy. Honestly, don't give him any praise. And I think there's actually another one in here somewhere. Aye, Peaceful Warrior. What are you doing? Do not give this man any praise at all. But Alan,
But you're the one highlighting the comments.
Because everybody can see them. Everybody can see them. I'm just making sure you don't give that man a bigger head than he's already got. Alan, just to talk Scotland for 2 minutes. If you actually look at this Scotland team, I think it's actually a no bad team. People can say what they want about Tierney, I think, and I'm probably going to get slated for this, but I think Tierney is a very, very, very good player. I'd actually have him at left back before Andy Robertson. Please don't shoot me in the comments. John McGinn in the midfield, Scott McTominay in the midfield. If we've got Patterson playing at right back, maybe centre defence, Scotland are a bit poor. But midfield, wing backs, I think Scotland have got a very, very good team.
I think you were quite kind. I think you were quite kind to the centre halves there, to be perfectly honest.
I did just ignore the whole centre half thing.
There's good players and there's a handful of good. Listen, I'm the same with the rest of the guys. I've not watched a great deal of international football. I don't mind the World Cup, the Euros, but mid-season international football doesn't excite me. I fell away from supporting Scotland for 100 reasons. Scott Brown and Lee Griffiths being two of them. So I've tried to get back into it recently, in the last year and that. So I've started to watch a wee bit more and pay a wee bit more attention to the Scotland players. And that you're right, there is decent players in there. Tierney is a decent player. I watch quite a bit of Arsenal, and I think Arsenal are a better team when Tierney plays. It's getting him fit's a hard part.
Exactly the point CGM just made. He's outstanding for Arsenal.
It's getting him fit, and I don't think he'll stay fit during the Euros. I think playing the 5 games, including the 2 friendlies, in such a short period of time. I don't think Kieran Tierney will be able to handle it. And it's a shame. It's a shame for Scotland and the diehard Scotland fans. And taking away the fact he used to play for Celtic, it's a shame for him as well, because how many more chances is he going to get to represent Scotland, his national team at this level? It's probably not going to happen again for a while, because as I said, Scotland snuck into this through the back door. I can't see Scotland qualifying for the World Cup or the Euros again.
Sorry, Alan. Andrew, Tierney is good. Tierney and Patterson are like Jardine and McGrain. Cammy, your thoughts?
A wee bit before my time.
No, it's who you try to kid.
I think
it's even before my time.
I think Wilf would be better placed to answer that one, to be honest.
I was 5. I've got absolutely no recollection of it.
Oh, right. Anyway, right. Okay, let's move on to the Scotland.
Listen, the one thing about playing Stephen O'Donnell. Look at the England attacking options: Phil Foden, Sterling, Grealish, Rashford. I mean,
England will destroy Scotland. England will destroy Scotland.
That's part. See the thing. Nathan Patterson starting against England. Nathan Patterson starting. Scotland play Croatia. Nathan Patterson up against Borna Barisic. I think would be brilliant. I think it'd be amazing. It'd be brilliant to see. But I think Nathan Patterson up against Phil Foden, I think would be fantastic for him. For his
but Cammy, do you know what? Even if he gets ripped, it will still be fantastic for him to learn.
But I think there's potential that he could get ripped going that way, but he could equally do the same to Foden going the other way, sort of thing, But anyway, enough about Scotland.
Yeah,
I think it's worth remembering we've got players going to Euros, but we've got Alfie going to play for Colombia, a couple of World Cup qualifiers, and then possibly Copa America as well. So another big feather in his cap if he gets to go to a major international tournament with Colombia. So good luck to him, and I hope they do well as well.
No, listen, absolutely. There was a comment, I can't find it, and I honestly don't know, because like yourselves, I don't really keep up with international football. But Cammy, who's going to win it? Somebody asked who you think's going to win it. So
the Euros, France probably. France.
Is that because they won the World Cup?
No. Do you know what it is? It's only because I saw somebody listing a starting 11 of players that wasn't actually in the French squad, and there's a fair bit of quality hasn't actually made the squad. To be honest with you, I think France, Belgium, think one of they two probably.
Alan, who's going to win it?
Czechoslovakia are still in it. I'd probably go France as well. Just because I've seen them play a couple of times, and ever since they won the World Cup, I still fancy them. So I'll go France.
I'm going to go Yugoslavia. Wolf?
Not a clue. Haven't a clue. Don't even know who's in it.
Honestly,
I don't even know who's in it.
Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday. Anyway, France or Portugal
Stanley.
for Graham? Accrington Stanley, yeah. I think Windass is going back there. CGM, Scotland won't win it, of course. Scotland won't get out of the group. CGM, come on. England or Italy, dark horses. France, England final. Now that would be interesting to watch. But anyways, and of course, CGM, Costa Rica. There you go.